Even with a coronavirus vaccine, a full economic recovery could be a long way off. That's according to economist Joseph Stiglitz. He's a Nobel Prize-winning author of People, Power and Profits. I spoke with him earlier about what it will take to restore business activity and consumer confidence.
Even when we have a vaccine, we don't know how effective it's going to be. We don't know how long it's going to last. You know, we get a flu shot every year, and that flu shot is only about 70–80% effective. There are a lot of unknowns. You know, the president oversimplifies when he says there's going to be a vaccine, as if every vaccine is 100% effective and lasts a lifetime. Clearly, he doesn't know much about vaccines. So that's the first thing. Unless we have the answer to those questions, we won't know whether the pandemic is totally under control. The second thing is that there's been an enormous amount of misinformation. And of course, Trump is one of the strongest propagators of this kind of misinformation. Misinformation has led to a large fraction of Americans feeling reluctant to take the vaccine. They don't trust the president, and the president is a mendacious person, and the number of lies make it very clear why should we trust him. But for better or for worse, that's the reality we have to deal with. The third point is that there's a lot of damage to the economy that has already been done. And the failure of the Republicans to give the necessary life support to the system, to provide unemployment insurance, to help the state and local governments, to help our educational institutions, means that in the best of circumstances, it's going to be a weak recovery. But that means that people are going to be very nervous how long it will take for the economy to fully recover. And because they will be nervous, they will be acting, as you said, suggested, in a precautionary way. And that's a vicious circle, because they're acting in a more precautionary way. Won't be consuming as much, they won't be investing as much, and the economic weaknesses will, as a result, persist longer than otherwise would have been the case.
The UK is bordering on a second wave. There's been a significant number of cases that have increased in recent days. Every country has to ask themselves, how on earth do they balance the financial pain of a lockdown with the prolonged economic pain of a dramatic spike in cases? How do you sort of deal with that as a national economy?
Well, looking across the economies all over the world, there is a very, very clear pattern, with maybe one or two exceptions. The countries that have brought the disease under control have managed to resuscitate the economy. The countries that have not brought the pandemic under control have not been able to resuscitate the economy, and the economies just get weaker and weaker. So New Zealand, South Korea, even China have done a very good job of controlling the disease, and their economies are doing reasonably well. The United States, UK, have not done a good job in controlling the disease. So let's make it very clear. It's not the lockdown that is causing the slowdown in the economy. It's fear. You know, in the Great Depression, FDR said, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. But the reality is, in the middle of the pandemic, we fear for our life. And we have fear about the future of the economy, because we know that if people are afraid, the economy can't be strong. So that's, to me, the first priority should be our lives, and it is the protection of control of the disease that will be the mechanism by which we get our economy going.